There's a specific kind of 3 a.m. that most of us know, where everything is quiet, but your mind is the loudest thing in the room. You're not thinking about one thing. You're thinking about everything at the same time. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, a voice tells you, you should be fine. You're a Christian. Just trust God.
And that makes it worse, because now you're anxious, and you feel guilty for being anxious. This is where a lot of people quietly walk away from faith, not because they stopped believing, but because it stopped feeling safe to be honest. But here's what most people were never told. Jesus talked about anxiety more than almost any other emotional experience. And when he did, he never once responded with shame. He responded with logic, with nature, with presence, and with one of the most radical reframings of human value ever spoken.
Let's go to Matthew 6. This is the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus is sitting on a hillside talking to ordinary people living under Roman occupation. These were not comfortable people. They were people with real economic anxiety, political fear, and daily uncertainty about survival. So when Jesus speaks into anxiety here, he's not speaking to people who have too much free time to overthink. He's speaking to people who have every reason to be afraid. He starts with a question. Can any of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? That's not a comfort. That's a logical challenge. He's asking you to audit your anxiety.
Worry has never once changed an outcome. It has only ever changed the person doing it. Then Jesus does something unexpected. He points to birds. No savings or career, no 5-year plan, no backup, and yet fed. Jesus isn't saying don't make plans. He's saying the universe has a provision system you keep forgetting to factor in. And then comes the line that reframes everything. You are worth far more than they are.
Your value is not a variable. It doesn't increase when you're productive and decrease when you're falling apart. This is theologically massive, because most of our anxiety is driven by the fear that we are not enough, and Jesus is directly addressing that root. He then moves to flowers, wildflowers that do nothing, produce nothing, and yet are clothed in more beauty than Solomon in all his glory. Jesus is building a case, from birds to flowers to you. Everything in creation is being cared for. What makes you think you'd be the exception? Then comes the pivot. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you.
This is not a prosperity gospel promise. He's not saying follow God and get rich. He's talking about reordering your attention. Most of us live in a state of scattered attention, pulled in 17 directions at once, giving full focus to none of them. Jesus is prescribing focus, one direction, one primary loyalty, and trusting that everything else realigns around that. And then the last verse of this passage, the one nobody puts on a coffee mug. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own.
Jesus is not telling you to be naive. He's telling you that tomorrow's weight was never yours to carry today.
There's a difference between preparation and anticipatory suffering, and most of our anxiety is the second one. So what do we actually do with all of this? First, name it specifically. Not, I'm anxious. Tell God exactly what you're afraid of. Specificity is the beginning of honesty. Second, separate what you can control from what you cannot.
This is not stoicism. This is stewardship. Do what you can, release what you can't, and resist the urge to keep picking it back up. Third, practice what Paul calls the peace that surpasses understanding. Philippians 4 says to bring everything to God with thanksgiving, and the peace shows up after, not before. Most people wait to feel peace before they trust. Jesus invites you to trust first and let peace follow. Anxiety is not a character flaw. It's not spiritual failure. It is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do: flag potential threats. The problem isn't that it fires. The problem is when it fires constantly about things that haven't happened yet and may never happen. Jesus knew the human mind. He built it, and he gave us a framework, not to eliminate discomfort, but to stop being ruled by it. You were not built to carry all of this. You were built for something lighter, and someone has been offering to take the weight the whole time. That's what Jesus actually said about anxiety. Not get it together, but come to me.